Hello everyone, you're on to Healthy Options with Maureen. Today we'll be making snails the Nigerian way. The good thing about snails is that they are carbohydrate free and fat free as well. It's a lean source of protein. It's packed with magnesium, selenium, and it's also a very rich source of iron, meaning it's a very good blood booster. Come with me as we make this. I know you will like it. So for our crunchy peppered snails, we'll be needing some snails. As you can see, this has already been thoroughly washed, and I cut them longitudinally into half or into two, as you can see. I actually prefer to cut every one of them into two because it gives us that crunchy texture we are looking for by the time we are done cooking. We need some ghee to shallow fry our snails. Whenever I want to do some shallow frying, I actually prefer ghee because it's very stable under high temperatures. But if you don't have ghee, you could use any vegetable oil of choice. We need some scotch bonnet peppers. We need some coriander leaves. We need some garam masala, some salt, some curry powder, a little bit of garlic, and some water to boil our snails in. So first things first, the first thing that happens here is that I'll be pouring the snails into the pot. So we have our snails. The snails goes into the pot. I want to do some more washing here. This also helps get rid of that strong smell that the snail has. So what I will do is that I'll boil it for 5 minutes or so, thereabout. Then I'll wash with some salt, then before I proceed cooking. So this is just like parboiling the snails, and what we'll do is we'll pour some water, just enough to cover the snails. As you can see, you can see everything is submerged now. So I'll be headed to the stove top. I'll boil this for about 5 minutes, drain off the water, then pour on some salt to help get rid of that strong smell that could still be left after we've washed the first stage, after we did the first stage of the washing. So remember, we are trying to prepare snails in such a way that everyone will enjoy it, the kids, the adults. I never really liked snails as a child, but when I got to learn how to prepare it this way, I found out that every person I serve this to really loves it. So I'm going to place this on the stove top. I will boil for about 5 minutes, drain off the water, wash with some salt, rinse off, then we'll proceed the cooking proper. So onto the stove top it goes. As you can see, I'll cover it now and I'll bring it to the boil. I'll come back and show you what next to do once this step is over. So that's what the snail looks like after about 5 minutes. I'm going to be turning off now. I will drain off the water and I will show you the next step from here. I just sieved out the water using a colander. I will rinse it out so I can cool it down a bit. Then I'll do the final washing stage before I proceed cooking. So I just rinsed out. So the next stage now is to add some salt, sprinkling salt all over the snails. Then using my hands, I will try to massage or rub in the salt with pressure, scrubbing. Final stages is not where the slime gets removed. It's just to help with the smell. So you don't need much work because we've already parboiled. So I'm rinsing out the salt now, and I'll pour on some water to cover the snails again. I'll add on the ingredients and place on the stove top to boil for about 30 minutes. So I will be rinsing off the salt now, and I'll come back and show you what next to do. So right now we have our snails that has been washed after it's been parboiled. So the next thing that will be going in will be some onions. I'm going to sprinkle on some onions on it. Then some coriander leaves. A little bit of the garam masala goes in. Some curry powder goes in as well. Then some salt goes in. We'll stir and we'll be placing on heat. We'll boil for about 30 minutes and I'll show you what next to do from here. So that's what it looks like after it has boiled for about 30 minutes. Right now I will collect the snails from the water and we'll proceed to the next step. So while we are boiling our snails, I've been able to cut the tomatoes into quarters to enable us blend easily. So right now I'll be blending the tomatoes, the scotch bonnet peppers, the onions, then the garlic. So into the blender goes the tomatoes, the garlic goes in, then the onions goes in, the peppers go in, then right now we'll cover and commence blending. So that's exactly the consistency we are looking for. So I'll be turning out the tomato paste into a pot. That's the tomato mixture that contains the pepper, the garlic and the onions alongside the tomato. Then I'll be placing it on heat. I'll bring to the boil and allow it to get rid of most of the water. Then I'll show you what next to do from there. So I'll be taking it to the stove top right now. You can see the tomato mixture bubbling away. We're going to let it stay like that until there is barely any water or any fluid left in it. So we are going to keep cooking. It's important to note that once your tomato starts drying up rapidly, then you turn down the heat to avoid it burning. As you can see, I just turned down the heat now and I'll let it keep cooking till the water dries off completely. So as you can see, we've almost gotten rid of most of the moisture from the tomato mixture. I've started heating up a cast iron skillet. I'll show you what to do with this. So into our cast iron skillet goes the oil. The vegetable oil goes in. Next thing that goes in, once your oil gets slightly warm, is your curry powder. As you can see, it's already beginning to sizzle. Then we'll be adding the garam masala as well. We'll stir. I'll be adding a little bit of salt. Thank you. Next thing that goes in will be the tomato paste. So the tomato mixture goes in. Once you notice that the oil is beginning to separate from the tomato mixture, as you can see, then it's time to turn it off. So I'll be turning off my tomato paste now, and I will show you what next to do from here. So as you can see, I just drained off the water from the snail, and right here is a cast iron skillet that has been smoking. I'll put a little bit of ghee at the base and I will show you what we will do. So since we are just shallow frying, I'll be putting as little ghee as possible just to cover the base of the pan. So that's exactly what I need. And immediately the ghee goes in, the snails begin to go in one at a time. As you can notice, some of it is already beginning to brown. And we're going to stir. So I will keep stirring. I'll keep turning, flipping over to make sure each side gets a good nice coloring, and that's what I will continue doing. When I'm done with this batch, I will go on with the second batch and I'll come back and show you what next to do. Right now you can see the second batch is completely ready. What I will do now is I will turn down my heat. I just reduce my flame now, and I'll be adding on the second batch, and immediately the second batch goes in. The tomato mixture we made earlier, it goes in as well. You just pile it on top of the snails, begin to stir in. As you can see, I used the same pan that I used to shallow fry the snails. The quantity of pepper you use in this recipe depends entirely on the family's preference. Some families would prefer it hotter. We are not into heat as such at home, so that's why you notice I didn't use as much pepper as possible. You can see it's coming together really nicely. And I will show you how I serve this beautiful, gorgeous, spicy, crunchy snails. So this is exactly how I will serve my snails. As you can see, I just sprinkled a few coriander leaves on top. This will make a wonderful addition on any dinner table as an appetizer. Special thanks to a dear friend, Ifeoma, that got me these snails all the way from Nigeria. I hope you give this recipe a go and let us know what your take is on it. Please, if you've not subscribed, subscribe by clicking on the red button at the end of the video. Thank you.